Hi, this is Eric McRay, artist, entrepreneur, and art educator. This is the second part of my last vlog post. How do you make time for art when there's no time for making art? And I was addressing how do you, as a creative person, find time to make your art and to make yourself productive. And what often happens, your time is consumed up by the domesticity, your day-to-day life, and often we get distracted by too much entertainment and too many frivolous activities. For example, years ago, I stopped cutting my own grass. I hired someone to start cutting grass because I had a lot of land, and I found that I was spending easily 5 hours in a day just cutting grass, and before you know, it was more and more and more. And then a really wise man, a gentleman who was quite successful, he said, "What's your time worth?" And I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, it'll cost me so much to cut my grass." And he said, "If I pay someone," he said, "Yeah, but if you pay someone X number of dollars to cut your grass, how much can you get done in that same amount of time?" And then also the question was, what is the value of the art that you create in that same period of time? So you have to ask yourself what your time's worth. Are you spending a good amount of time changing oil in your car or paying someone to cut your grass and a lot of things that you could you could easily pay someone to do versus you doing. You don't want to spend time tied up in the things that are hugely consuming that you could easily pay someone else and produce your work and get more done. Now, that may not apply to everyone because we're all on different levels. But the bottom line is the amount of time I would spend cutting grass versus my productivity over 3 to 5 hours is well worth me paying someone else to do that. Okay, another thing is that we have our activities. You have children, you have your spouse, and all these people in your life, and often everyone has their demands. But the bottom line is you have to make time for you as a creative person. And even if it's one day a week, everyone knows that Tuesday between the hours of 6 and 11, that's your time. No different if you're going to the gym, to church, to your bridge group, poker night with the boys, we're going bowling, I'm going fishing, whatever you choose to do with your time, hunting. Bottom line is everyone makes time for what's important to them. So you have to say, is this of any value and is it worth my time? And if it's not worth my time, obviously it's going to fall further and further and further back. And all of a sudden you say, well, I don't have time to do X, Y, Z. That's because that's not important to you. I personally, I'm not a hunter, but I know guys spend a lot of time hunting. They come back, show me all these pictures of animals they've killed, caught, whatever term you would use for it, and they're all excited. Well, that's not where I spend my time, and they value that versus what I value. So, and that's perfectly acceptable for the individual. But if you're an artist and you says, "Well, I just don't have time," that means that just says this isn't as important as other things in your life. So you have to prioritize that. Also, you have to set a schedule for yourself. And this is more about discipline, and it's not just purely driven by the muse. Too often artists are saying, "Oh, today it's sunny," or "Today it's raining," or "I only produce at spring," and "Oh, if the sun is shining, birds are humming, and bees are buzzing," whatever, then I can create art. You can't make art successfully and productively like that. And how you make time for that is schedule it. You say, okay, this is the time that I'm going to do the art on these particular days. And also that the people around you understand that, and you put it into your life as this is what I'm going to do, and you don't allow yourself to get distracted. And so these are the times that you produce your work. And if it's whatever time's convenient for you, and everybody has that understanding, that's my time. And if you don't put boundaries, no one will respect what you value because you have no boundary around it. Anything that you really value, you put a boundary around it. You put boundaries around your children. If you're wise, you do in this world, because so many things are coming at us. Your personal property, you have locks indoors to keep certain that your stuff stays in and keep certain people out. You hopefully put blinders and blocks on what you hear and see, that you're not exposing yourself to all kinds of filthy ideas or ideas or concepts or philosophies that are destructive to you and your family. So you put boundaries between you and what you value and what you don't value, and things that you truly see as important, you lock up, you preserve, you protect. And so your time has to be the same way. I preserve this time for my work because I value my work, and this is my outlet, my passion. I can promise you, making art has kept a lot of people out of trouble, kept a lot of marriages together, helped a lot of people